Welcome! Who is excited? If you don't know me, I am Lindsay Carricarte-Jones, half of Recharge Coaching and Hug Your Chaos. And today we are here to talk about living your purpose, infusing your life with magic, finding out what your purpose is, and we're going to do an awesome activation meditation to connect you with that potential and with that possibility. So first we're going to start out. If you don't know me, I am a coach, I am a writer, I am a motivator, and I work online intensively with people just like you, helping people to bring passion and magic and purpose back into their life. So this is my specialty. This is my forte. I am coated with evolution and purpose and expansion, and that is what I am here to also pass on to you. So who is this for? So if you have spent your life in the cycle like I did of trying to do everything that maybe you were told, trying to do things the right way, trying to follow the path to success, and maybe you found yourself at a place where you had a job, a career, a family, money in the bank. So it's not like you were struggling, but you just weren't happy. Maybe you were struggling and you still weren't happy. Right? Because it's easy enough. We all know, let's just agree on something, right? We all know it's easy enough to just go out and find a job. And a wise man once told me that job actually stands for just over broke, J-O-B, just over broke. And that anytime you're just working in a job, you're going to keep yourself in the loop of constantly just depending on somebody else for basically that fix. Like, to put it bluntly, right? That paycheck becomes that fix. And in the mind, because of the way we're programmed, and here's the really cool stuff that I'm going to talk to you guys about today. Because of programming that is well and truly outside of your control, and for many of you, this may even be the first time that you're hearing somebody call this out or talk about it, and you're going to be like, oh my God, yeah, that's me, right? Because for so many of us, we're just taught that that's the way things are. And we're just taught that this is the way life is, and you should just accept it and you should just settle for it. Let me ask you a question. Have you ever found yourself in a workplace where maybe you had feedback or thoughts on how something could be done better, and your manager took it as a complaint and basically told you that you should just be grateful that you have a job? Right? We all know that one. Like, that one, I don't even know the amount of times I've heard that one through my life. And just to give you guys a little bit of an introduction as to who the hell I am, right? Why should you listen to me? Here's why you should listen to me. Because I know what I'm talking about. Because this is what I eat, sleep, breathe, and live, right? Because I spent years of my life, decades of my life, trying to force connection and force success and force happiness by doing what I thought would get me there. And none of those things worked for me. And I found myself in the deepest darkness, I could be in: addiction, depression, anxiety. I had cancer at the age of 27. And so all of this happened very early on for me. So on the hindsight of that, as I came into my 30s, I started to have a really, really big wake-up call. And that's when I realized that I wasn't wrong and there was more to life. And I set out dead intent on finding out what my purpose was, because I knew that I had one. And I was determined to find out what it is. And I was determined to make a life where I was fulfilling that purpose. And so that is what I am here to offer you. So if purpose and passion and growth and expansion are things that are important to you, then you're in the right place. If you're happy where you're at, hey, listen along, you might learn something, but I'm not telling you that you have to change anything in your life if you love where you're at. That's the first thing this is not about. And so very quickly, I would like to, because this is like a mini coaching class followed by an activation, which is kind of a new thing that Chris and I will be putting out there. Some of you already know my husband, Chris, my other half in business as well. And some of you haven't seen him yet. And you probably will soon enough. If this is your first time with us, welcome. The idea is that as you go through life, you start out, right? And early on in life, you generally know exactly what it is you're passionate about. You know somewhere deep inside what your purpose is. You know, and you're this magical little human. And you start feeling out the world, and you start exploring the world, and you start learning how to navigate this crazy world we call the 3D Earth realm, right? And all of a sudden, you start getting told things like no, and don't do that, and that's not okay. And sometimes you're getting told these things having to do with stuff that you feel like is totally normal. Like, I don't know, you cry, or you have an emotional outburst, or you're like 4 years old and you're curious and you want to touch stuff because that's how you learn, but you're getting told, no, you can't touch anything, right? Can you relate? What's your experience? I want you to think for a moment. Think back to what your experience was as a child, as a little human in this world, where you were trying to make sense and you were trying to learn and you were trying to interact with this 3D reality, and where you can remember like it stopped making sense, or where you can remember maybe being told no or being punished for something that you kind of felt like, well, hey, isn't like, I feel like that's something I should be doing. So the big one for me was emotions. I learned early on that there wasn't really space in my family for us to have emotions and entertain emotional outbursts. And I was very afraid of anger. Yet I felt anger a lot. And I only realized that in hindsight because nobody taught me how to identify my emotions, let alone how to release them or work through them. So I learned very early on, I was just going to stuff them down, plaster a smile on my face, and act like everything was okay. Lo and behold, it was no surprise when I had cancer at the age of 26, because you can't hold in that much toxic emotion without it coming to affect your body. So that's what I really want you guys to think about, right? Because chances are you're here, you're watching me, you're probably into your 20s, your 30s, your 40s, maybe your 50s, maybe older. The bottom line is this, that you're here for a reason. And you're here because something in you was like, yes, I want more purpose. I want more magic. I want more passion in my life. Just shout out, yeah, if you know what I'm talking about right now. Yes, this is not live, but say yes anyway, because what you're doing is you're saying yes to yourself, and you're opening yourself up to the potential of shifting and receiving. Because here is the news flash, you guys. Here's the big secret. Dun, dun, dun. If you get nothing else, if you take nothing else away from this, take this away. What you try to focus on externally to address or fix or balance, focusing on it externally is like a Band-Aid. And I even mean, like, yes, you see me, I wear crystals. I love crystals. I love oils, right? I love tools to work with to help in my practice and in my healing. But here's the thing, if you're not also approaching it from underneath and getting out that stuff from underneath, all of this is only ever going to be a surface fix. And you're not going to truly be able to raise your vibration and your frequency to that place of infinite possibility and potential that I know exists in you. I see it in you. And so if you take nothing else, know that I see it in you. And maybe you don't fully believe that it's there yet, but I'm telling you, I see souls and it is there. And I see it. And this is where you start to reconnect with that, and you start to nurture that so you can give your gift to the world, because that's what the world needs. The world needs more people like you who are connected internally to their gifts and their purpose and their passion and their magic, giving your gifts and your purpose and your passion and your magic to the world. And that's the way that we're going to evolve. That's the way that we're going to move forward. Are you with me? Are you excited? Is this like a hell yeah, right? One other thing I want to say, and I just want to briefly talk about, I want to call out the stigma that surrounds coaches. Now, some of you Maybe you had an experience with a coach before. Maybe you've had no experience with a coach before. Maybe you know what a coach does. Maybe you have no idea what a coach does. Either way, it's fine. No matter where on the spectrum you are, it's fine. Because what Chris and I do at Recharge, what Chris and I do with Hug Your Chaos is so beyond the scope of just coaching. We're more like galactic guides. We're purpose, passion, and magic guides, right? Galactic guides that are going to bring you back to your purpose and your magic. So I'd like you to very quickly reflect on what you think you know about coaching and whether or not you've ever experienced any coaching. And that can even be, when you're younger, you had a coach in a sport that you did, right? Or, you had a club at school. And even if it was like an academic club, chances are you had a facilitator or coach or someone who was leading you guys and helping you guys do better and be better, right? So here's the thing. Everybody knows that coaching works. Inherently, we know that having a coach on your side is a benefit, right? You know that. Who's going to do better, right? Two kids walk up to a baseball field. Neither of them have ever played anymore. One works with a coach for 6 months, and one just goes in the outfield and watches and tries to figure out what everybody's doing, but he's too shy to ask for help, and he doesn't want to get a coach, and he doesn't want to pay for a coach. Who do you think is going to do better come the tryouts? Probably the one that worked with the coach, right? So I beg you for your own good to ask yourself, why is life any different? Have you ever felt like you were watching other people live life with just success and connection and abundance and flow, and you're over here wondering like what manual they got that you didn't get? Yeah, that was the story of my life for decades. And it paralyzed me. It paralyzed me with anxiety and depression. And I was constantly comparing myself to everybody that I knew. And I would find myself in jobs where I was busting my butt and I was doing well, and it could have even been doing enjoyable work, but it just seemed like no matter what I did, I wasn't fulfilled and I wasn't being acknowledged, and I was just hitting this ceiling in everything. And it didn't matter how much money I was making. It didn't matter how much freedom I had. I still wasn't happy because I wasn't living with purpose. And if you're anything like me, and my goal is for those of you that are like me, who need this, to hear this. So hopefully you are like me, and that means you're driven by purpose. You're very coded. Your field is very coded with these templates of having an impact, having a purpose, having magic in your life, right? Not living the mundane 9-to-5 grind that other people might seem happy at. This isn't about comparing. Right? This isn't about comparing. This is about the idea that you may look at other people and they are happy in a mundane 9-to-5 existence, low key, quiet. They go out on their weekend with their family or their friends. During the week, they go home and they go to work and they come home and they have their vacations and they're happy and they're fulfilled with that. Have you ever looked at somebody like that? And I mean, I have, and I've almost envied them at other points. Other points in time in my life when I was very unhappy, not now, because now I'm living in my purpose and I'm happy and I'm fulfilled. But before I found that, I would look at these people and I'd be like, God, like I wish I could just settle in and be happy and content, but I'm just not. Here's what I really want you to realize, guys, if nothing else, before we get into the activation, I really, really want you to think about this. Like computers, we are all like organic bio supercomputers, and like a Mac or a Windows or a whatever that other one is, right? I know there's different operating systems and whatnot. Everything has its strengths. All the different technologies and electronics have their purposes and have their strengths. Like if I'm a videographer, I'm not going to do my work on an iPad, right? No, I want a MacBook Pro. But if I'm like a data analysis, it's like really about like spreadsheets and all of that. Like I'm going to want something that's running Microsoft Office, right? If I'm doing presentations, maybe I want one of those cool notebooks that do all the cool stuff that you can present on. So guys, people, humans, we're the same way. And here is the biggest lie you've ever been told. The biggest lie you've ever been told is that there's some one size fits all grid or path to happiness and success that we're all supposed to fit in. Think about that. We're all here for a different reason. We are all uniquely, beautifully different in how we look, in how we act, and in what our purposes are, right? We don't all look the same. So why in the fuck, excuse my language, would we ever think that the same path to happiness and success is gonna be the same for all of us? It can't be, because we're all driven by different things, right? So the first order of business before we go into the full activation is I would like you to take a moment. And this is something I do with my intensive coaching clients when I first start working with them, but we're going to do it today. So take a moment, and you can pause the video if you need a moment to think about it. I want you to take a moment, and I want you to think about what really, truly drives you. What drives you? What lights you up? What do you get excited about? Is it travel? Is it helping people? Is it learning? Is it expanding? Is it personal development, teaching, yoga, soccer, children, animals, anything? This is your rodeo. I'm not here to tell you what those right answers are. Take a moment and make a list of those things. And then I want you to start thinking about what it could be like if your life and your everyday reality was filled with those things. What would that be like? Are you like, oh my God, I can't even imagine? Are you like jumping for joy like I used to when I would plan my trips? And I would think about the day that I was going to find the path. And I would think about the day that my life was going to be filled with freedom and impact and travel, because those are what's important to me. What's important to me is helping the world, helping other people find their purpose, traveling the world, having new experiences, and connecting with people that are also expanding. My reality is filled with that. Like, I make a very abundant living from doing that. You guys, that's the first key to think about when trying to shift in and start understanding and attuning to your abundance frequency, is that whatever your purpose is, it's going to flow for you. You never have to force anything when you're aligned and you're taking that aligned action every step of the way for what it is that you are here to do, right? But all too often when you find yourself on that other path of trying to force and not really being sure, and maybe you're following somebody else's path, that you find yourself doing and getting exhausted and trying to force stuff. And the bottom line is, the truth of it is, it doesn't work, right? It may work for those people that are coded with that, but you're here. So my gut tells me that you're coded for something much, much more, something with a lot more purpose and magic. How does that sound? Right? All right, so we're going to take 1 second, and then we're going to jump into the activation. Beautiful. All right, you guys ready for this? This is going to be life-changing. We're about to raise your vibe and raise your frequency. Are you excited? Are you ready? Are you ready to connect to your purpose and your passion and your magic? Are you ready for more magic in your life? Yay! Congratulations. It does take a brave person to step in and lead the way into the new world of living with purpose and magic and passion. So high fives all around, you guys. High fives. Great. All right. So I'd like you to get comfortable. Now, you don't have to stay sitting up for this. You can lie down for this. We'll just be 10 or 15 minutes. Take the time. Make sure you're not going to get interrupted. Close your Facebook. Close any other stuff that might ding and interrupt you. Just take this time for you. This is crucial. If you want to start living a life of alignment and purpose and abundance frequency, you're going to have to allow yourself to start receiving. And part of receiving is allowing yourself the space to connect with and expand energetically into the realms that you need to expand into to connect with this, right? So you have to start allowing yourself to receive. And so I ask you to sit back, close your eyes, make sure nothing's crossed, everything's open, whether you're laying down or sitting up, your palms are facing up because you're receiving. Beautiful. Close those eyes. Start taking a nice deep breath in and focusing on your breath. Deep breath in through your nose, filling up your gut, exhaling out through your mouth, and continuing to just breathe in into that gut, taking a moment to breathe in and fill up your gut and exhale out, allowing yourself this time to receive, allowing yourself this time to be supported. Feel the support of whatever is beneath you, whatever is beneath your bottom or your back. And continuing to breathe now into your heart space, expanding out that chest, activating that heart brain, exhaling out through your mouth, inhaling into your heart, and exhaling out through your mouth. Beautiful. Relaxing, receiving, giving yourself permission. Now as you inhale, bringing that focus into your third eye, the area of your mind, your perception. Start to really focus on that area between your eyes, above your eyes, at your forehead, the middle of your forehead, as you breathe mindfully and consciously in and out. Focusing in on that third eye center, exhaling out. Again, inhaling in through your nose and exhaling out. Beautiful. Really focusing as you continue to breathe, always breathing, always expanding in and out, in and out as you focus in. Focus into that third eye, maybe your gaze underneath those closed eyes points upwards. Maybe you're feeling some pressure, some tingling, some sensation, and I want you to start envisioning the color purple. And as you start envisioning, seeing this color purple all around you, wrapping all around that head, extending out through the crown of your head, up to the heavens, up to the sky, and you're going to go with it now. You're going to go up, 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 follow that beautiful crown chakra light up into your own ether, your own quantum space. This is your 0 point, your space of creation. This is where, when you have a random thought, it goes up to this space. This is the space you are creating from. This is the space you are attracting from. So whatever you create up here can be attracted into your very real 3D realm. So as you float around this space, I want you to just notice. Just notice what is. And as you're floating around, maybe you're seeing something, maybe you're feeling something, maybe you're sensing something, maybe you're having a thought, trusting, just trusting that everything you experience is exactly right for you as it is, because this is your experience. And in this place of infinite potential, of pure possibility, of 0 point creation, you get to create. And it gets to look like whatever is right for you. There's nobody here to tell you to color in the lines. You get to color however you want here. And so now as you see a door appearing in front of you, I want you to notice what color the door is, what is it made out of. And I want you to float up to the door, and I want you to open it and step through the door. And as you step through the door, you see a scene playing out. And there you are on this alternate timeline. And this alternate timeline is playing out because it had you living your purpose from day one. So look around. What do you see? What do you hear? What are you doing? What do you look like? And I want you to observe yourself for a second. Notice your surroundings. Who are you with? What are you wearing? What do you smell? What are you doing? What is your purpose? What is your gift to the world? Because this is the space where you're going to connect with it. This is your other timeline that's playing out right now, waiting for you to attract it into your 3D timeline on Earth. Trust. What you're seeing is real and possible. And so as you observe yourself, I want you to float on over to this version of you, and I want you to merge with him or her. Merge with them. And I want you to feel how it feels to be in the body of this version of you that is full of purpose and full of magic, full of passion and fulfillment. And you have your gifts and you're giving them to the world. And now that you're in this version of you, feel what those gifts are. Receive the information. What is it that is your dream? What do you want to be doing with your life? Take a moment and just listen. Receiving that wisdom from yourself. Receiving that knowing from this other version of you about your gifts, about your skills, about your purpose. Maybe you're seeing it playing out in you actually doing something. Maybe it's a knowing. Maybe there's a picture being shown to you. Maybe it's just a feeling. Just trust. Trust that this version of you knows exactly what it is that are your gifts. Beautiful. And as you're ready, we're going to get ready to leave and we're going to step back, and I want you to take one last moment to face this version of yourself. And I want you to ask them, what do I need to do? What do I need to know? And if it's a specific question about your purpose or your gifts, ask that. Otherwise, just remain open and then receive the answer. And trust that what's coming back to you is real and it's right and it's good and it is for you. And if it is for you, that means there is a way, it is possible, and it can happen, and it can be your reality. And say goodbye, and as you step back to the door, closing that door behind you, knowing that this space is there for you to connect with at any given time, and you're back into your 0 point, your quantum universe, and you find yourself coming down, 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 back into your body. Beautiful. And as you settle back into your body, just notice feeling the support of the floor beneath you, feeling the weight of your muscles, feeling your breath as it moves through your lungs and fills up your lungs, bringing some wiggle into your fingers and your toes, bringing some movement back into your body. Beautiful. Taking a nice deep breath in. And when you're ready, opening your eyes and coming back to the room, looking around and noticing, looking at your new world, looking at your new perspective. What feels different? What do you see? What do you feel? What information did you get? And when you're done with this exercise, and we're going to be done here in a few minutes, or you can pause it and go out, go spend a few minutes outside with bare feet if possible, grounding this into the earth. And I want you to also do some writing as well, because writing it grounds it into this reality. Give yourself that, right? You've just connected with this beautiful possibility for yourself. So now what's next? Can you take a couple of minutes to invest into writing, to ground it into the 3D? Can you take a few minutes to go outside and ground it into the earth? The choice becomes yours. In every single moment, you have a choice. And you can either make a decision that's going to take you closer to what you just connected with or further away from what you just connected with. You get to choose in every given moment. And that's also the power of having a coach on your side, because when you have a coach on your side, you're constantly being shown the perspectives, what's going to take you closer. And instead of listening to some of that programming, you learn how to move beyond the programming. You get a cheer squad, you get a support staff, you get to learn how to energetically manage yourself, right? And get to where that purpose and that passion and that reality does become your everyday real life, right? So if that sounds like when you're ready to make that your reality, that's when I want to talk to you, because that's what I can do for you. That's what I can help you with. So if that's you now, click on that button below and book the call. Let's have a chat and let me help you create a strategy for moving forward. Not only are we going to create a strategy for you, we're also going to talk about what it would look like to do some more intensive coaching, if that sounds right for you. Mutually deciding, right? You have to approve me, I have to approve you, right? It's not like, oh, you want me, I take you, or I want you, you take me. This is a mutually decisive thing, right? So don't be afraid, because this is often the point where I see fear crop up. Now, if you're having the intuition, let's have the chat, right? Don't rob yourself of an experience before you even have it, because that is moving away from that vision that you just connected with. So that reality you just connected with, in every moment, like I said, you have a choice to either move closer to it or further away from it. At the very least, us having a chat and building a strategy for you and talking about coaching is 100% for sure a step towards creating that vision. Now, if you're not ready for that, that's perfectly okay too. When you're ready, you'll be ready, and I'll be here. And if it's not me, someone else will be here. The coach for you will be here. Trust and believe that, right? But please take the time to do the journaling and do the earthing, because that is also 100% a step towards that, bringing that, attracting that. Your job is not to create. Your job is just to learn how to embody the frequency of that version of you that you just connected with. Hold the frequency long enough for it to attract and appear and manifest. That's it. Now, that's easier said than done. It sounds easy enough, but when you've got all this programming working against holding that frequency, it can be a very challenging place to navigate on your own. That's why everybody needs a coach. So I do truly appreciate you for doing this activation, taking the mini course. You put in your email to get in here, so you will be getting some emails from me. Those will have extra value and tips and tricks and other assets, content, blogs, videos, all kinds of learning stuff for you. So hopefully, you'll stay on the email list. If not, that's okay too. The choice is 100% completely yours at all times. And I do thank you for investing this little bit of time into you and into your potential and what is possible for you. No matter which way we go, I am your cheer squad and I am on your side. Much love. And please take a moment to come and connect with me on social media if you haven't already. Lindsay Carricarte-Jones. And come and like us on Recharge and the HYC Life Abundance Coaching page. Much love, and I will see you guys soon. Some of you I'll even be talking to soon, and I can't wait for those of you that I see in the field with me already. Have a beautiful, blessed evening, and I will see you soon.